So, while we wait for the YouTube checks to complete on this video talking about the Canucks and Marco Rossi, let's go out there and talk about some other Western Conference teams and what the Connors have in store. Oh hey, we're the Connors. Nah, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid. And we are also going over to Chicago and talking about Connor Bedard. Now, I do kind of feel nostalgic talking about Bedard. Like, honestly, we haven't made too many videos talking about the Blackhawks and Connor's path in the NHL, mostly because I feel a really good affinity towards this dude. When we played him on our live stream a few years ago before he was drafted, yeah, big throwback back to Connor Bedard's presence in our stream chat. Whether or not it was really him, I guess we'll never know, but I do believe that it was him. Connor Bedard is in a pretty interesting situation with Chicago because his entry-level contract expires at the end of 2026. Connor McDavid is in an interesting spot with the Oilers because his 8-year contract expires at the end of 2026. Both of these guys are eligible for extensions. Both of these guys have not signed yet. Should I say yet? I don't know. You can go out there and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. But when it comes to Bedard and McDavid, there are a number of conversations that we can dive into, and a bunch of them were spewed out there by Frank Seravalli the other day on Bleacher Report. We have made this comment a few times, but Seravalli is no longer with Daily Faceoff, so he's been doing other shows, including the BR Open Ice show on the Bleacher Report YouTube channel. This is what Seravalli said about Connor McDavid on yesterday's programming. In regards to Connor McDavid, he says, "To my knowledge, I don't believe the two sides have even gotten to the point of trading numbers. It'll get wrapped up in relatively short order, though. We're not expecting any hiccups." Now that is not really all too surprising. Like, okay, the Oilers are going to pay Connor what Connor wants. Wherever it is Connor starts the negotiation is where the negotiation will roughly stay. Sure, Edmonton could try to get the price down a little bit. That's how a negotiation works, but really, they're not going to be strangle-holding whatever contract demands Connor has in the same way Minnesota is with Marco Rossi, just for example. So, Seravalli going out there with the point here. It's interesting how they have not started to talk about any numbers, but of course, when that does get to that stage, we'll probably see a contract get signed relatively quickly. Here's what he also said about a Connor McDavid extension. Seravalli guesses it's not going to be an 8-year deal. Probably 4, and somewhere between $16 to $17.5 million in AAV. Those are just ballparks. It's not even really something that he's confident in saying that it's going to be a 4-year deal. And we have seen the idea of a 4-year deal floated around for Connor McDavid quite a bit, mostly from the perspective that says that, hey, guys like Austin Matthews and them, they've gotten these shorter-term contracts that allow them to get paid more and more as the salary cap goes up. Because if you're locked in for 8 years, yes, sure, that is guaranteed money, but it's guaranteed money in an environment where you actually could be making more if your money was renewing itself every few years or so. So if Connor McDavid, he's already gotten that 8-year contract under his belt. He already had $12.5 million bucks, but if he ends up going 4, by the time 2031, 2032 rolls around and the cap is even higher, I doubt that Connor McDavid is going to experience such a significant drop-off in talent that he can't get a little bit more of a raise at that stage, right? Is that right? Is that how the math works out? McDavid's contract expires 2026, add 4 years. 2030, excuse me. Yeah, 2030. And Connor McDavid will be, 33 at that time? Yeah, he's fine. He's going to be able to get some more money still. I think Connor is going to age very well into the National Hockey League, even though his game is dominated by his speed. I just don't really see a world where he ends up becoming slow. Like, is that really possible for Connor McDavid? I have no idea. But now, we have ourselves some other discussions about McDavid like this. This was posted by Leafs Latest, 33 days until September 1st, and the chances of Connor McDavid extending with the Oilers currently sit at 37%, according to Polymarket Sport. Now, I gotta go out there and say, I have no idea what Polymarket Sport is. Oh, it's the most accurate sports odds and forecasts in the world. Okay, no limits, no house, instant cash outs. Look, I'm not going to go out there and advise that gambling on Connor McDavid's contract extension is a good thing or a good idea. I'm absolutely not endorsing any of this stuff, but just seeing that this is there, that's kind of funny. If you click the link, it goes over to a graph. Will McDavid extend with the Oilers by September 1st? Big shout out to the operator for subscribing to this YouTube channel whilst we are recording this video. But there's literally a graph that you can bet on. You can buy or sell, what do you call these, shares or bets as to whether or not McDavid will extend with the Oilers by September 1. I mean, that's a month from now, essentially. Frank Seravalli is saying that the contract negotiations will start and end relatively quickly once McDavid and his party reach out with numbers. But, yeah, if you think that it's going to take a little bit longer than that, you can bet on it on polymarket.com. Of course, no endorsement here, no sponsorship. I just thought it was hilarious that people are actually going to be betting on this stuff. I mean, $81 in volume. Does that mean that people have put in $81 worth of bets on this thing? I don't know how to read this stuff. Obviously, I am uneducated. Let's shift from one Connor to another and go from Connor McDavid to Connor Bedard, because there was another piece of info that Frank Seravalli ended up talking about on the BR Open Ice show in regards to Bedard and his extension. He spoke about the potential for Bedard signing an extension before the season. Seravalli says, I doubt it. I think from both ends, cap space is no issue, but I would want to get that deal right. The question from James says, what if he walks? I wouldn't want to stay there long term. Well, here's the thing, he is an RFA. But I could totally see him only signing for the remaining years and walk or then get traded before he walks. Man, Connor Bedard is in a really interesting spot with the Chicago Blackhawks because, honestly, the idea of him signing with Chicago short-term and then inevitably just leaving when he becomes a UFA, it doesn't seem all too unrealistic when you consider just how Bedard's career has gone so far. Not because he sucks. I mean, he's a great player. He had 61 points in 68 games in his first season, 67 points in 82 games the next, so the point-per-game numbers did drop off a little bit. He did have a very bad start to his year. I have Connor Bedard in a keeper league in my fantasy hockey league with my friends, and he was very disappointing for the first half/3/4 of the season. He definitely was not in that near point per game territory for the majority of the campaign. He got a lot more penalty minutes this year as well, so things just really got frustrating for Bedard. And when you think about Chicago not really taking that next step right away, you know, you saw Sidney Crosby and the Penguins get immediate success when he debuted. Connor McDavid, you can say, yeah, they waited a long time after he became an Oiler to become good. Colorado, you can debate the same thing with Nathan MacKinnon, but the fact is we saw that success. And in Chicago, it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, unless Connor Bedard becomes a 100-point player this upcoming season. And how is he going to do that when he's playing with Ilya Mikheyev and Tyler Bertuzzi? Like, no disrespect to those guys, but you just kind of need a supporting cast around you to be able to have your top players play top minutes and have top production. Connor Bedard is in a very interesting spot. If he does decide that the way the Blackhawks are going and progressing is not really something that he's comfortable with, then who knows if there is a very short-term deal that is signed? Who knows if he ends up holding out? I don't really think that's possible. I don't think that it's a likely scenario for him to give Chicago many problems, but I do wonder just where everything is going to go with Connor Bedard, especially since Seravalli is saying, like, yeah, I don't really think that this extension is going to get done quickly. You just want to get it right. Do you sign Connor Bedard for long term? Do you go 8 years? Because we're in kind of the last year of players being able to get 8 years? Or do you just say, all right, we'll give you a 2-3 year deal. It'll take you to UFA status. You can decide what you want to do then. If Bedard gets an 8-year deal, what do you give him? Do you give him $8 million? $9 million? What's he shown off that he's worth so far? I honestly have no idea. So with all this in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the newest on Connor McDavid and Connor Bedard? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.